If you're over 60, let me ask you something that might just save your life. When was the last time you really looked at yourself? I mean truly examined your body for changes that could mean the difference between living independently and facing a medical emergency? Here's something that'll shock you. Most of us check our phones dozens of times every single day, scrolling through messages that don't really matter, but we completely ignore the 3 critical areas of our bodies that could be screaming warning signals right now. And I'm talking about signals that, if missed, could land you in the emergency room fighting for your life. Listen, you've lived a full, beautiful life, and you absolutely deserve to enjoy these golden years with confidence, dignity, and complete independence. But here's the hard truth nobody wants to talk about. Your body is changing every single day after 60, and what used to be small, manageable problems can now become life-threatening emergencies faster than you ever imagined possible. The difference between catching something early and missing it entirely isn't just about comfort, it's literally about survival. Today, I'm going to teach you the exact same 3-point daily check that doctors and nurses use in hospitals across the country. A simple, 5-minute routine that could genuinely save your life. By the time we're done here, you'll know exactly what to look for, when to take action, and how to stay one step ahead of problems before they become crises. If you're ready to take complete control of your health and stay independent for as long as humanly possible, type "I'm ready" in the comments below right now. And make sure to subscribe to Elderly Health Central and hit that notification bell. Because your health isn't just important, it's your most valuable asset, and protecting it starts today. Deadly area number 1, your skin, your body's early warning system. Let me tell you about Clarence, a 73-year-old retired mechanic who noticed a small red spot on his lower back while getting dressed one morning. He thought it was nothing, maybe from sitting too long in his recliner watching the evening news. Clarence figured it would go away on its own, like most things did when he was younger. 3 days later, that innocent little spot had become an open wound that landed him in the hospital for 2 weeks fighting a life-threatening infection. Clarence's story could have been completely different if he'd known what to look for and taken action immediately. Here's what Clarence didn't know, and what most people over 60 don't realize. After you hit 60, your skin becomes your most vulnerable organ and your most important early warning system all rolled into one. Think about this. Your skin is literally getting thinner every single year. We're talking about losing up to 20% of your skin's thickness as you age. It heals slower than it used to, sometimes taking weeks instead of days. And here's the scary part, it can break down quickly under pressure that wouldn't have bothered you at all when you were younger. What starts as a small red mark that you might not even notice can become a deep, dangerous wound exposing muscle and bone in just a matter of days. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to save you from what happened to Clarence. Your skin is literally your first line of defense against infections, bacteria, and serious complications. But it's also your early warning system, sending you signals that something needs your attention right now. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a little redness, or, I'm just getting older, this is normal. Let me stop you right there. Here's what you absolutely need to know. Any redness that doesn't disappear when you press on it with your finger, any sore or tender spot that appears seemingly overnight, or any area that stays sore or tender for more than a day needs your immediate attention. This isn't being paranoid, this is being smart. The places you need to check are specific, and there's a reason doctors always look at these spots first. Every single morning, as part of your routine, check your tailbone area. That's where pressure sores love to start because you're sitting more than you used to. Check your shoulder blades, especially if you spend time lying down during the day. And don't forget your heels, they take a beating from shoes that might not fit as well as they once did. Use a hand mirror to see areas you can't easily see, or better yet, ask someone you trust to help you check. Look for any red spots, any open areas no matter how small, or any places that feel sore when you touch them. And here's something most people forget. Check between your toes for cracks or splits in the skin. These might seem harmless, but they can become serious problems fast. If you see any changes, and I mean any changes at all, Don't wait to see if they get better. Don't put cream on them and hope for the best. Call your doctor that same day. This isn't something you wait and see about. Time is everything when it comes to skin problems after 60. Your skin gives you visual warnings that something's wrong, but the next area I want to talk about gives you warning signs you can actually hear and feel, and missing these signals could be even more dangerous than what we just discussed. Deadly area number 2, your breathing, the sound of life. Vivian was 69 and had always been active, gardening, cooking for her grandchildren, taking her daily walks around the neighborhood. But she started noticing something strange. She needed an extra pillow to sleep comfortably at night. At first, she thought it was just a comfort thing, maybe her old pillow was getting flat. Then she realized something else was happening. She was getting winded walking to her mailbox, something she'd done effortlessly for decades. She'd have to stop halfway and catch her breath. Vivian told herself it was normal aging, maybe she needed to exercise more. But by the time she finally went to the doctor, fluid had been building around her heart for weeks. Her breathing changes weren't about getting older, they were her body's desperate attempt to tell her that her heart was struggling, and she was in serious danger. Here's something that might surprise you: your breathing tells the complete story of your heart, your lungs, and your circulation. It's like having a window into what's happening inside your body. After 60, your body becomes incredibly smart about protecting itself, but it might not give you the obvious pain signals you'd expect when something's wrong. Instead, your breathing pattern becomes the messenger, carrying critical information about your health. Changes in how you breathe can signal heart problems that are just starting, lung infections that haven't shown other symptoms yet, or even blood clots that are forming, all potentially deadly conditions if they're caught too late. Your lungs and heart work together as a team, and when one is struggling, the other tries to compensate. That compensation shows up in your breathing first. Now, you might be thinking that getting a little winded is just part of aging, or that needing extra pillows to sleep is no big deal. Maybe you've convinced yourself that you're just out of shape or that you need to take things slower. But here's what you need to understand. Sudden changes in your breathing patterns aren't normal at any age. Your body is trying to tell you something incredibly important, and it's using the only language it has: changes in how you breathe. When you're resting, and this is key, when you're resting, pay attention to your breathing. Count your breaths for 30 seconds. You should be taking somewhere between 8 and 10 breaths in that 30-second period. If you're breathing faster than that while you're just sitting quietly, your body is working harder than it should be. Notice if you find yourself breathing through pursed lips, like you're trying to whistle but not making any sound. That's your body's way of trying to keep your airways open. Pay attention if you need to stop talking to catch your breath during normal conversation. This isn't about being out of breath after climbing stairs. This is about getting winded during everyday activities that never bothered you before. And here's a big one that people often miss: if you wake up gasping for air, even if it only happens once in a while, that's not normal sleep behavior. If you find yourself needing to sleep sitting up in a chair instead of lying flat in bed, or if you wake up feeling like you can't breathe lying down, your heart might be struggling to pump efficiently. Watch out for a cough that won't go away, especially if it's worse at night or when you're lying down. This isn't a cold or allergies, this could be fluid building up in your lungs because your heart isn't pumping effectively. Don't ignore these signs. Don't convince yourself they'll get better on their own. Physical changes like skin problems and breathing issues are serious warning signs, but there's one area that's often the very first sign that something serious is happening in your body. And it's not happening in your chest or on your skin. It's happening in your mind, and missing this signal could be the most dangerous mistake of all. Deadly area number 3, your mind, your internal alarm system. Leonard was 76 and had always been the kind of person who remembered everything: birthdays, anniversaries, what he had for lunch 3 days ago. His mind was sharp, and he was proud of that. But over the course of just 3 days, Leonard started having trouble remembering what day it was. His family thought he was just stressed about some financial decisions he was making. But Leonard noticed something else that worried him. He felt confused in places that should have been as familiar as his own reflection. Going to the grocery store where he'd shopped for 20 years suddenly felt overwhelming. He couldn't remember where they kept the bread. Leonard thought he might be developing dementia, and he was terrified. What seemed like memory problems was actually his body's way of telling him he had a severe urinary tract infection that was affecting his brain, and without immediate treatment, it could have killed him. Here's something that will shock most people: your brain is incredibly sensitive to changes anywhere in your body. We're talking about infections you might not even feel, medication reactions that don't cause obvious symptoms, dehydration that seems mild, or organ problems that haven't shown up anywhere else yet. All of these can show up as confusion, memory problems, or changes in your thinking patterns first, especially after 60. This isn't dementia, and it's not normal aging. This is your brain's sophisticated alarm system telling you that something in your body needs urgent medical attention. Your brain requires a steady supply of oxygen, nutrients, and proper chemical balance to function normally. When anything disrupts that balance, an infection, a medication interaction, even dehydration, your brain sounds the alarm by changing how you think and remember. The scary thing is how quickly this can happen. We're not talking about gradual changes over months or years. Leonard's confusion started on a Monday and was severe by Wednesday. UTIs, which are incredibly common in people over 60, can cause dramatic mental changes in just hours or days. Blood sugar problems, medication reactions, and even constipation can cause sudden confusion that looks exactly like dementia but disappears completely once the underlying problem is treated. You might dismiss sudden confusion as just getting older, or convince yourself you're having a bad day. Maybe you think you're just tired or stressed about something happening in your life. But here's what you absolutely need to know: rapid changes in your thinking, memory, or mood aren't normal senior moments. They're often your body's very first distress signal that something serious is happening. Ask yourself 3 simple questions every single morning. What's today's date? Where am I right now? What did I eat yesterday? These aren't trick questions, they're basic orientation questions that your brain should handle effortlessly. If you struggle with answers you knew perfectly well the day before, that's not normal, and you need to pay attention. Notice if you feel unusually sleepy during the day when you normally feel alert. Watch for moments when familiar places suddenly seem confusing or overwhelming. Pay attention if you find yourself seeing things that others don't see, or hearing things that aren't there. These aren't signs of mental illness, they're often signs of medical problems that need immediate treatment. And here's the most important thing: trust yourself. You know your own mind better than anyone else. You know when something feels different, when your thinking seems off, or when you're struggling with things that used to be automatic. Don't let anyone convince you that confusion or memory problems are just part of aging. They're not. I know this might feel overwhelming, especially if you're recognizing some of these signs in yourself right now. But let me tell you what this information really means for you, and why knowing these 3 deadly areas could be the most important thing you learn this year. I want to be completely honest with you about something, because I respect you too much to sugarcoat this. Learning to watch for these signs can feel absolutely terrifying at first. You might find yourself worrying that you're constantly looking for problems, or that every little change in your body means something terrible is about to happen. You might feel like I've just given you 3 more things to worry about in a life that already has enough concerns. But here's what you're actually doing, and this is so important. I need you to really hear this: you're taking complete control of your health and your future. You're refusing to be a victim of circumstances you could have prevented. Think of this daily routine not as hunting for trouble, but as becoming your own personal health advocate, your own protector. Every single day that you check these 3 critical areas, you're giving yourself something priceless: the gift of early detection. You're staying one step ahead of problems instead of being blindsided by medical emergencies that could have been prevented. You're taking charge instead of hoping for the best. If any of these signs felt familiar as I was describing them, if you recognized yourself in Clarence's story, or Vivian's experience, or Leonard's confusion, don't panic, but please don't wait either. Pick up that phone this week and make an appointment with your doctor. Create a simple checklist on your phone, or write it down on paper and put it somewhere you'll see it every morning. Make these 3 checks part of your daily routine, just as automatic as brushing your teeth or having your morning coffee. Here's what I want you to remember as we wrap this up, and I want you to really let this sink in: you have far more control over your health than you might think. By staying aware, staying informed, and taking immediate action when you notice changes, you're not just surviving day to day, you're actively thriving. You're maintaining your independence and protecting the quality of life you've worked your entire life to build. That's not just smart, that's powerful. Let's quickly review your 3 daily life-saving checks, because I want to make sure you walk away from this video with absolute clarity about what to do starting tomorrow morning. First, examine your skin at pressure points, your tailbone, shoulder blades, and heels, looking for any redness, sores, or tender spots that weren't there yesterday. Second, monitor your breathing patterns for any changes, count those breaths, notice if you're working harder to breathe, and pay attention to any new coughs or the need for extra pillows. And third, assess your mental clarity each morning with those 3 simple questions about the date, your location, and what you ate yesterday. These 3 checks take less than 5 minutes total, but they could literally save your life. 5 minutes that could mean the difference between catching a problem early and facing a medical emergency that changes everything. Now, I want to hear from you, because your experiences matter and they could help someone else watching this video right now. Have you ever noticed one of these changes but brushed it off as just getting older? What happened next? Did you eventually discover it was something more serious? Or maybe you're one of the smart ones who caught something early because you were paying attention to your body's signals. I want to hear that story too. Share your experience in the comments below, because your story could be exactly what another person needs to hear to take action. Maybe your comment will be the thing that convinces someone to call their doctor instead of waiting another week. Your experience has power, and I genuinely want to hear from you. If this video opened your eyes to something new about protecting your health and maintaining your independence, please subscribe to Elderly Health Central and hit that notification bell. We're not just creating content here, we're building a community of people who refuse to let preventable problems steal their golden years. We're here to help you stay strong, stay informed, and stay completely in control of your health journey for years to come. Thank you for investing these 19 minutes in your health and your future. That investment could pay dividends for years to come. Remember something important: you're not just aging, you're living, actively and purposefully. You have the power to catch problems before they become crises, to get the help you need when you need it, and to continue enjoying the life you've worked so hard to build. I'll see you in the next video, where we're going to dive deep into creating your personal health action plan, a step-by-step guide for what to do when you notice changes. Stay aware, stay strong, and keep taking excellent care of yourself. You're worth it.